Welcome back to the Innovate series. I'm joined here today by Jaakko Conradi. Jaakko is the head of super yachts at the Evac group and the president of HEM Watermakers. Jaakko, thanks so much for being with us.
Thank you. It's a pleasure.
I think access to fresh water is vital in all aspects of life, but nowhere more so than on board a super yacht. And I think that's led to a certain level of innovation at your end. Could you tell us some more?
Yes, like I say, it is not just about generating the fresh water on board of the vessels. It is also about all the treatment of the fresh water, the sterilization of the fresh water, water softening, and basically covering and taking care of the complete freshwater package on board. And making sure that the water is safe for the use on board, making sure that the crew is confident enough to drink the water, because that of course can eliminate the use of plastic bottles, which can contribute to the pollution that we have today with plastic in the seas. And so yes, it is the whole generation and treatment of the fresh water, but then also to take it further is to then the wastewater that has been generated on board from this fresh water, for example, the galley, the toilets, the showers, etc. Also then to basically then treat that wastewater again and basically transform it back to an almost completely clear and safe effluent that can be pumped safely overboard into the oceans without causing any damage to the oceans.
Yeah, I think something we've touched upon there is when people think about access to fresh water, they think about the generation of it. The water maker and the water treatment facility is just about getting you that access to the fresh water, and then perhaps we don't think about what happens after that, but it really is a whole cycle, isn't it?
Yes, that's like you say, there's a whole cycle about the sterilization is of course the primary. There is the sterilization of the water entering the tanks, but then also maintaining and keeping the water sterilized in the freshwater distribution loops on board of the vessel. And that is a big part, and also that in conjunction with a good water safety plan on board of a yacht can really give complete confidence to the crew to safely consume the water on board and to, like I said once before, avoid any plastic contamination of the oceans. And then, like I say, bringing it then back also then to the wastewater and making sure that what we then put back in the sea is also of a good and for good quality.
Yeah, and I think when people have the confidence in the system and like you say, confidence in the water that's being produced and also recycled, I think we can maybe step away from the more wasteful practices of like you said, the plastic bottles, and just treating it as a one-way flow.
Yes, what we also can do, as you mentioned, if you want to even eliminate the effluent from the wastewater system, if you even want to use that, you can put that again for a second stage RO unit with another set of membranes, and then you can produce technical water or deck wash water, which is completely transparent, bacteria-free and clear, and you can use that as deck wash water, and then you basically have almost zero waste from the water that have been generated and then used on board.
Yeah, because I mean, this is similar to the way they treat water on somewhere like the International Space Station, right? Only a very small percentage of it is actual waste. The rest can be used in a cyclical way.
Yes, I mean, for the moment, we are not completely at the point, just to reassure the people on the yachts, we are not at the point where we will put it back as drinking water, because I think a lot of people will still hesitate a little bit on that. But yes, we can take it to the point where we can use it as deck wash water eventually.
Now that you're part of the Evac group, has that changed your level of involvement on board the yachts?
Yes, of course, that opened up a complete, because with the range of freshwater products that we have in the HEM portfolio, we kind of got to the limits where we really covered the complete freshwater side. And now the big opportunity we have with Evac is to also introduce the complete waste treatment product range that is offered by the Evac group into the yachting market. That is everything from glass crushers, compactors for compacting boxes, etc., for easy storage on board, or plastic bottles in that case as well, grease separators, the wastewater treatment systems using the membrane technology, and then also the vacuum pumps. Because another thing as well, which is contributing to a more greener solution, is of course the vacuum toilets from the Evac. Because a normal toilet will be used between 4 to 9 liters per flush, as where a vacuum toilet will only use 1.2 liters per flush. So of course, that's also a big saving, reducing also the wastewater that you will have in a vessel. So yes, it do open up opportunities.
And I guess that having systems like that in place allows a vessel to future-proof for the inevitable tightening of restrictions associated with operating, especially in some of the more pristine areas of the world.
Yes, that is correct. Because, I mean, today, wastewater treatment systems, for example, you have to comply to certain norms. For example, the Riverine certification, which is more strict than the US Coast Guard and the IMO certification. Yes, they are very concerned about what you're putting back in the sea. You know, so we are very aware of that. Also, like you say, the whole green and more energy efficient and more green approach is also taking on in the yachting market a lot more today. So that is something that we have to keep in mind, and which we are working forward to as well, to have a complete clean tech solution for the yachting market as well.
And I think there's a tipping point soon where, you know, even when I started in the industry 10 years ago, everyone had drinking bottles, water bottles, because no one wanted to drink, even though everything coming out of the tap was fine. But now that there's that perception is changing, and there's almost that race to be ahead of the curve. And in that case, if you've got a system like that, then you're prepared and ready for the change. Yeah,
like I say, I mean, we really go, we have 3 levels on big yachts. We have basically 3 levels of sterilization. Okay, you have the filtration, etc. You big carbon filter for the taste, etc. But we will have sterilization on the way into the tank. Then after the tanks, when you go to distribution, you will have another sterilizer for that to add some residual silver or chlorine, but most of the time silver, into the water, so that you have these little soldiers in the piping keeping it clean. Yeah. And at the same time, you will circulate all this over a UV sterilizer, you know, so you are pretty damn safe, you know, if you take care of the system. You know, it's done, you know, for drinking the water there. That sounds very much needed and a really comprehensive solution. We look forward to seeing what happens in the future. Jaco, thank you so much for being with us on the Innovation Series. Okay, then. Thank you very much.